Welcome back, folks. We are glad you're watching. This is the Strings of Country interview, and we have two great musicians today, Esther Conqueror and Ruben Kigame. Now, before the break, Esther was telling us about how what they are doing, a project they're doing with Ruben Kigame, and we'll go straight back into it, so keep it right here. Esther.
Yeah.
You told me that you watched Ruben Kigame, you know, right through from the time when you're in school or something,
Yeah.
and your dad also liked his music.
A lot.
And tell me more about the project that you're currently working on.
Yeah, so when I grew up loving country music, and I didn't know actually there's a country musician in Kenya, except that my dad kept telling me, no, that guy is Kenyan. And then I could not believe because the accent, and it's so good. I'm like,
We'll ask him about his accent shortly.
Yeah, so my dad would tell me, that guy,
Yes.
he even has Kiswahili songs.
Okay,
So, well,
yeah.
when I grew up and I wanted to become a country musician,
Yeah.
he was one of the people I was looking up to. I mean, he's closer to me than the likes of Dolly Parton and all that.
Okay.
And so one time I decided I wanted to do music. I had not even written any country song yet, but
Yes.
I'm a poet. That's something you don't know about me.
You're a songwriter. You're going to be a poet too, eh?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it was-
songwriting and poetry is
They're
more or
very
less
connected.
They're connected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so after my dad passed, that was 2011,
Yes.
and I needed to sing. I didn't have a lot of songs, but I had a lot of poems.
Yeah.
And so I decided I have to go and look for Kigame to tell him that he's my inspiration and to tell him I need some guidance on how do I go about it. So I traveled all the way to Eldoret. He hosted me with his family for a week, I guess.
Yeah.
And we stayed there. I didn't even have money to do that.
So he didn't even know you, but he received you well, and
Yeah,
was
I
ready
just
to
put out his number,
work with
called
you
him.
to help you out.
Yeah.
You just called him.
Yeah, and I told him, I'm this and this. I want to come over, and I love your music and all that. And he told me, just come over. I still remember
He
one
was
thing you told
receptive.
me,
Yes.
that it doesn't matter whether I have the resources.
Yeah.
If God has put a dream in me, it will come true somehow.
Yeah.
I've never
Fantastic.
forgotten that.
Excellent.
So when I went and he asked me, so what do you have? I told him, right now I have poetry.
Yeah.
And I write a lot of gospel-inspired poetry because I'm also a gospel sort of person.
Yeah.
And so Kigame told me, let us first do the poems first, as we wait for the money and also for the right time to do the songs.
Yes.
And so we did the poems. We did like an album of poetry. We recorded, and he did the background, the music.
Yeah.
Then I was now to stay longer so that I wait for him to master. Then, by God's favor, I got a scholarship to go to the National Youth Talent Academy. When
Yeah.
I met Kigame, I didn't know how to play the guitar, but I had a guitar at home.
Yeah,
And
you
so-
play so well now.
So
Who bought you the guitar? Your
I bought my
parents. You
first
bought
guitar
yourself your
at
guitar. The guitar.
17.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when I went now to the music academy, the music now took over me. I never went back to pick the poetry. And then
Oh.
we kind of lost start because now I got into music
Yes.
and it overwhelmed me. I'm also a media person. So in between, I also got a job to
Yes.
work in a media station.
Yeah.
And so my poems are still pending
Yeah.
in his studio.
We'll be
Okay.
mastering them.
And now
soon.
we are supposed to be
So many
finishing
years
up.
later.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's the
Okay.
right
Still
time
fresh.
anyway.
It's still
because
very fresh, yeah.
I think it's God's time.
Yes.
And so now I've become a country singer. And
Okay.
now when we rehooked up with Kigame, now I'm already a country singer. I'm also
Okay.
a gospel singer.
Uh-huh.
And so as I was saying, there's a song I was working on
Yes.
by a client that needed me to write a song for them. And it's done. It's very beautiful. I'm not going to sing it now.
Soon to be released. When will it be released?
After the event, because
Yes.
they're having the anniversary on
Yeah.
November, and
Yeah.
so the song is like supposed to be their theme song.
Okay.
So after that, they're gonna give me the permission now to release it to the public. But
Okay.
it's a masterpiece.
We can't
Yeah, I
wait.
like
We
it.
can't wait for that one.
I
Now
like
you
it.
said something,
I
Esther,
love
that
it.
when
Yeah.
you first watched him or heard his music, Ruben's music, you thought he was from the US.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask him something. Two questions, Ruben. One, what did you study at the university, at the Kenyatta University?
Okay.
Two, were you ever taught? Do you ever go for voice training? Three, where did you get that? Okay, I said two questions. Okay, there'll be more.
Now, therefore,
There'll be
You're
more.
like a preacher.
Exactly.
Just the last one and the last one.
Where did you get that, very good, strong baritone that you sing in? Kenyatta University.
Kenyatta University.
Yes.
I wanted to be a lawyer
Ah.
and missed it by 2 points. And
I
so-
missed it by 1 point, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
I
yeah.
need to check you out. Maybe we hail from the same gene.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, and so
Yes.
I ended up doing education.
Okay.
I didn't like education either. I just never knew God was preparing
That's communication technology and something
me.
else?
Hardly, just Bachelor of Education.
Yeah, what were the two
So,
main
so what,
two main
what, what I
subjects?
studied was philosophy
Yes.
and religious studies
Uh-huh.
and history.
Okay. Not bad combination.
No, not at all. I
Yeah,
mean, I look
that's
back
okay.
with
Yeah.
fondness. I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know God was going to be using all this for
Yes.
songwriting and ministry, you
Yes.
know. And I'm delighted.
Okay.
Regarding singing and, training and so on, I never studied music in high school. I dropped music actually at Form 2.
Ah.
And so I didn't take it to where it needed to be. And the reason was I was more of an arts person in the sense of humanities.
Yes.
And so I went into the literatures and so on because I love to go behind the themes and,
Yes.
and issues. I'm more of an analytical person.
Right.
And so that shaped who I am today. The love for English and Swahili as languages is just me. I love languages. I
And
speak a bit of Kikuyu. I
you
speak a
do?
bit of
Excellent.
Kenini Mono.
Okay.
I speak a bit of Luo.
I think we should have done this
Lingala.
interview in Kikuyu then.
Next time.
Ah.
I need to polish. I need to polish so that I
All
don't
right.
traumatize people by saying the wrong thing. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, I love languages. I speak a bit of Lingala
Uh-huh.
and a bit of German.
Yes.
And so languages come naturally to me. I was in
Okay.
Zimbabwe recently and
Yes.
I was learning a bit of Shona and learning how to say Makadini. And,
Yes.
So anywhere I go, whether Uganda or wherever,
You
it's
try and
just-
pick up some of
yes,
the
I
language.
love to
Okay.
mix with the people.
That's good. That's good. Now tell me something. How about what, in your view, is the connection between country music and gospel music, and how is it that you do both?
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there is a dichotomy that people make about
Yes.
life that is not very, very good.
Yes.
And that is separating how you live every day
Yes.
with your faith. You know, your faith, if you have a faith, it needs to be part and parcel of you.
Right.
So that if you're going to be singing a love song or a political song
Yeah.
or a song about the economics of the land,
Yes.
it's all informed by your faith.
Yeah.
Your faith shapes your lyrics. Your faith shapes the themes and the content of the song.
Okay.
And so as a Christian, it's very hard for me to tell you, this is where my Christianity starts and this is where it stops.
Okay.
It actually encompasses every aspect of me. I've written some love songs for my wife. I've written, a song about carjacking. I've written a song about Bunyore.
Yes.
But all these are written clean with total acknowledgement
Yeah.
of God as sovereign. And so he informs me how far to go with my lyrics.
Okay.
There is a lot of debate as into what is gospel music. Gospel music needs to have the gospel. Yeah. So it's not a style.
Yeah.
But if you sang a song in any style,
In reggae,
in reggae, rap,
pop, in
whatever,
rap,
country,
R&B.
yes, as long as it had the gospel,
Gospel,
that is,
yeah.
there is salvation through Jesus Christ, and,
Yes.
and you can have a relationship with God. You are a gospel musician.
Okay.
Now,
And-
when it comes to country music,
yes.
country is about real life situations.
True.
It's about me and where I live.
Yeah.
And what I like or don't like. My relationships, my job.
Yeah.
My children, the neighbor.
Yeah.
Who came to the village next. So it's about life. It's about reality. It's about
True.
stories of every day. And faith is something permanent in society. Faith in God, walking with God, talking about heaven and all this is something we all look up to.
Yes.
Death and the hereafter. And so if you sang a country song that didn't include a faith theme, I think you'd be missing out on something.
Okay.
And so you'll find the Alan Jacksons and the Jim Reeves and, the Skeeter Davises and all, they will sing about life, but there's none of them that I know that has never sung
A gospel.
a gospel song.
Okay.
Yes.
Now tell me something. You mentioned the song about carjacking. It's one song that is often requested, and I like it. It's one of my favorite songs by you. The song titled "Why Kill a Man."
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
It was interesting. I wrote a song before the incident happened to my family.
Something that actually happened.
Yes.
Okay.
And the situation was, I was doing some recordings for some friends of mine, and they came to my house. We did the tracks and everything, and they were, my studio was at the house at that time.
Yes.
So driving out, they were carjacked, and the guy was put into the boot and left for dead, pretty much, because it was a saloon that you couldn't open
Yeah.
easily. Anyways, one other family friend was badly, they were carjacked, and she was raped at gunpoint somewhere in the Karura forest.
Terrible.
And I mean, just looking at what it takes for somebody to degenerate that law, to sink to a level where you do such things to another human being. So I'm asking the big questions. Why kill a man who's chasing a dream?
Yes.
I mean, you have a chance to live.
Yeah.
He has a chance to live. Why kill him?
Why kill him?
Was it that old car that he was driving? Why not then just take the car?
True.
Was it the money? Take the money and leave the guy.
Yes.
He's trying to earn a living for the children.
Yes.
And his wife.
Okay.
It's a stupid thing.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
anybody listening out there, if you've ever thought of doing anything like that,
Yeah.
you would be sinking to the lowest, and almost like an animal state.
True.
And any robber or anyone who takes something from someone forcefully,
Yes.
crime doesn't pay. Young people, the crime doesn't pay.
Yes. Okay.
It will lead you to an early death, because there's always a faster gun. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
so why kill?
Why kill tonight? You'll sing it in a bit.
Yeah.
Do you have
So-
any favorite musicians or country or gospel singers? And why do you like them? I'll ask Esther the same question.
Yeah, if you sing country songs,
Yeah.
there's no way you will miss to the inspiration of people like Kenny Rogers,
Yes.
and Dolly Parton.
How about more recent ones? More.
Yeah, Alan Jackson.
Okay.
Certainly a very big inspiration.
Yes.
I was mentioning these because, for instance, the early ones
Yes.
really had a big impact on me. Don Williams and Skeeter Davis. I met
Yes.
Skeeter just before she died.
Oh, you
actually,
did?
At the Grand Ole Opry in
Okay.
Nashville.
How did that go? How was
It
that?
was interesting. I was driving through Nashville to
Yes,
Ohio, and
yes.
my friend says, we're very, very close to the Grand Ole Opry. So I said, "Are you serious? Why don't we check what's happening?" And we go in, and there is a live concert going on.
Right.
We bought the tickets, went in, and she performed the song, and I waited to the end to greet her.
Ah.
Yeah. So it was very, very special.
Okay.
Randy Travis, I've been at one of his concerts.
Yes.
Like I said, in Goshen. These are inspiring people.
True.
Ken Holloway and
Yes.
Susie Latzinger and you have all these guys writing great songs out there.
Okay, that's a lot. You tell us more about that. I think this interview, we need a part 2 or something. There's so much to talk about.
That's
And
fine.
looks like we're running out of time, so we'll have to do a second part. And how about you, Esther? I know Dolly Parton has to be one of your favorite singers. Anyone else?
Well,
Both
I-
internationally and locally.
Now, let me begin with internationally.
Yes.
I love Martina McBride,
Okay.
Reba McEntire.
Okay, I bet you do. You ask her.
The ladies,
Yes, she
the
has
big
for
ladies.
us to play their music a lot, or her music a lot.
You know why I
Yes.
love their music is
Yes.
because, as Ruben says,
Yeah.
a lot of country music is about life.
Yes.
There is something more about activism in
Yes.
music. Like if you listen to Reba McEntire's music
Yes.
or Martina McBride, they
Yes.
sing about life issues that need somebody to speak up about. Like,
Yes.
Reba McEntire, Martina McBride has a song about cancer.
Yes.
Somebody once sang that, we don't talk about cancer in songs, but in country music we do. And so when you listen to her song, it's everybody's story.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
people are dying of cancer. People can't talk about cancer because it's such a menace.
Yes.
But when a singer like that sings about cancer, and the whole world can just see what she's talking about.
Okay.
Reba McEntire also sings about family stuff. You know,
Yes.
a divorce. You know how a family is torn apart by stuff.
Yes.
And so when you listen, because I'm a charitable person,
Correct.
I do music for charity.
I know you do
and-
that,
and
yeah.
those are some of the songs. I want to sing a song that does not only entertain,
Yes.
but something that somebody will connect with. Like in October, I'm doing a show somewhere at Faraja Cancer Center.
Okay.
It's basically a fundraiser for cancer.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be doing, sad songs
Okay.
that talk about cancer.
All right. You know, this, like I'm saying, there's so much to talk about. You're going to have to do a second part, of this interview. But before I let both of you go, I need to ask Ruben about his stint in politics.
Yeah.
And start with that, yes.
It was a temporary
Yes.
exercise in insanity.
You're not never going back.
No,
Not going back.
I would love to
Yes.
someday.
Yeah.
When I see the scene change a little
First
bit.
of all, what position were you vying
I was
for?
running for
Running
governor in Vihiga County.
Yes.
And I wanted to.
Which year was that?
2013, in the
Okay,
2013
right.
elections.
Okay.
So I wanted to be the first governor of Vihiga.
Yes.
And I sold my vision,
Uh-huh.
still available online.
Yes.
The transformation of Vihiga
Yes.
via eradication of poverty, implementation of educational programs.
How many people
and
are
all
running
that.
against
There were
you?
7 of us. I came 4th.
That's not bad.
No, not at all.
How
Without,
many
without
votes?
bribing,
Yes.
and I think I had like 7,000.
Do you need a pot of gold then to vie for these positions, or
Actually,
somewhere? Or
to be
something?
honest with you, in this country, there's no way you
Yes.
can make it without the money
Yes,
and without lies.
I tell you. Okay.
And so without lies and without money,
Yes.
I came forth. I think I tell people I
Yes.
lost honorably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your honesty was your handicap.
It was my blessing.
Oh, your
because,
blessing.
Because
Okay.
it proved that you could go through
Yes.
honest.
Okay.
Yes.
How about your radio station? Just before we wind up, you had.
I had to shut it down,
yes.
sadly, because this country is not quite
That's
open.
Fish FM?
Yeah,
in
Fish FM.
Eldoret. Yes.
Yeah, I ran it for 9 years.
Yes.
And
That's long enough.
yeah, I just had so many obstacles.
Yes.
First from the government,
Uh-huh.
because they're not licensing people
Yes.
to expand as such. And I really badly wanted a Nairobi frequency because I was doing English broadcasts. And
Which was not available.
no.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, they are,
Yes.
but they're in people's hands. They've
Yes.
ordered them and
Okay.
doing nothing with them.
Uh-huh.
I wanted a station that would transform the society.
But you
by
did that
addressing
for 9 years.
For 9 years. But
Yes.
it was transforming the western part of Kenya. The broadcasts were in English.
Okay.
I mean, Nairobi needs the English broadcast.
So you shut it down because you could
I
not
shut
get
it down because
Nairobi?
it was
Yes.
not sustainable.
Okay.
I mean, you push and, and there's no advertisement
Okay.
because they give the big boys.
Okay.
And,
Well.
the church is also a bit slow in
Yes.
funding Christian media, and everybody wants to start their own anyway. So
Yes.
it just becomes chaotic.
Yeah.
But I realized, I had to ask the question, Lord,
Yes.
what have you asked me to do? If it's broadcasting, I can always say my message in another media. I'm here today,
Okay.
and my message is going out.
It's still going out. Okay.
You're blessed to be my host, and
Yes.
so
All
you'll
right.
do it for me.
Excellent. Now tell me something, because we are really out of time now, but I would like to find out from both of you, what's that one thing that most people probably don't know about Ruben Kigame? And I'm going to ask Esther Conqueror to also tell us about that. And then as we wind up, if she could, or both of you could kindly sing one more number,
Okay.
we'll be delighted. So what's that one thing about Ruben Kigame?
The one thing people don't know about Ruben Kigame is that music is not my first love.
Ah,
My first love is truth.
okay.
And I am a serious crusader for truth wherever it is.
Right.
I hate lies. I hate people taking advantage of others, even through religion. And so I have a ministry,
Yes.
what we call an apologetics ministry, that reaches out
Yeah.
and helps those, that are caught up in the cults and the occult and
Okay.
all these Kanyari stuff.
Yes.
I'm one of the crusaders against them, and I've been doing this since 1994.
Okay.
And so music comes in as a tool
Yes.
to proclaim that truth, yes.
Okay.
But my number one love is transforming the society through truth.
Excellent, excellent. How about Esther?
People need to know that I'm born again. You know, as Ruben says, because we sing country music, people think, oh,
But I thought people already knew that, or not all of them, not
It's
many.
not
sometimes
obvious.
people assume, but
Yes.
it's good to declare it publicly.
Yes, okay.
I'm a born again country girl.
Yes,
I actually do Kikuyu music.
yeah.
I recently released an album that's doing so well, and
Yes.
people are surprised that, oh, she sings Kikuyu.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so basically I'm a church girl, and I really love God, and
Yes.
everything I do just centers around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming.
a
Like I
pleasure.
said, we're going to have to do a part 2 of this interview. There's so much to say. So much. We've just, I think, just
fine.
scratched the surface. We'll need to go deeper at some point in time.
We'll be glad.
Yes, so you're most welcome to Three Stones TV.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think we should do a father-daughter thing here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
How about some Dolly
I think before we do that,
Yeah.
well, viewers, there you have it. We have two music greats. That's Esther Konkara and Ruben Kigame. And unfortunately, we're out of time, but I promise you, we're going to get the two of them back here not too long from now. And from me, DK, thank you so much for watching. And on behalf of Ruben Kigame, Esther Konkara, thank you too. Remember, we do this every week, and watch the show, The Strings of Country, on Sundays, 1:30 p.m., repeat at 9:30 p.m., and another repeat on Friday at 9:30 p.m. But before we go, I'm going to ask the duo to do a number, and we'll just, we'll end it right there. Thank you so much. Stay blessed, and peace.
Back through the years, I go wandering once again. Back to the seasons of my youth. And I recall a box of red that someone gave us. And how my mama put those rags to use. They were rags, how many colors, and every piece was